In today's news, OECS ministers rally for regional trade transformation. Luggage belt at TB LETTSOME International Airport has been upgraded. Frustration grows among ANEGADIANS about their lands. The BVI Rotary clubs look ahead. Tweet for Excellence film competition to bridge Caribbean cinema and literature. We have the details of this and much more, both on the local and regional scene. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break.
At Higher BVI, we're not just about business. We're about empowering lives, and that is because we aspire to inspire. By choosing us, you're supporting a company that believes in equal opportunities, diversity, and community growth. Our mission goes beyond profit. It's about providing HR solutions, fostering talent, and leaving a positive impact. Join us in building a better future, a better BVI. Choose Higher BVI, where your support isn't just a transaction, it's a transformation. Together, we're changing lives in these beautiful Virgin Islands.
Yo, everything good there?
Aye. This thing got me one way, daddy.
What do you mean?
Ever since I hook up with this thing, can't eat, I can't sleep. This is the first thing I touch it when I reach home.
What do you really? Hey, this ain't like you know.
Dad, this thing got me staying home, keeping out of trouble me.
Wow. What your name is?
Shit. I talking about my CCT life.
Don't worry about missing your favorite series, sports, news, and local programming. Come to CCT today and sign up for CCT Live to access over 80 channels. CCT Live. Bring it home.
1 month free trial turn into 5. 5 months turn into, well, you know I hot. I watching ball. I even watching football. Dad, Nickelodeon, Paw Patrol. I am hooked. Hooked, I tell you.
Hello everyone and welcome to this edition of 284 News. It is Thursday, May 29th, 2025. I'm Ron Grant, bringing you the very latest out of Tortola in the Virgin Islands. Thank you so much for joining us, and a happy Thursday's wish to all. The Organization of Eastern Caribbean States kicked off its 6th Council of Ministers of Trade in Grenada with a very strong call for deeper economic integration and coordinated trade policy. Ambassador Ion Moses delivered a urgent message highlighting the global challenges facing the region. Moses highlighted that at least 10% of the tariffs would raise costs, strain families, and delay regional development. He challenges the OECS ministers to move beyond slow implementation and take decisive policy action to build public confidence and economic resilience.
How do we respond? What will be the implications of that 10% increase in tariffs? Certainly, it will contribute to a significant increase in cost, translating into higher prices and increasing the pressure on our citizens to survive. It will contribute to slowing our march towards a development path aimed at ensuring a sustainable growth and development of our economies, yielding benefits that can enhance the livelihood of our populace. And so today, as policymakers, we are challenged with coming up with the appropriate policy responses and actions that can seek to pacify and inspire and motivate and build a sense of confidence within our populaces that we have the capacity to be resilient and the capacity to treat with this an enabling environment and to provide for the sustenance of our families.
Dr. Didacus Jules outlined the global polycrisis of economic and geopolitical disruptions, warning that small island states are increasingly vulnerable. Jules emphasizes the need for regional unity, fast-tracked implementation of the customs union, and public engagement to ensure integration delivers real visible benefits.
For decades, we have benefited from unilateral, duty-free access under various preferential regimes. That era is being dismantled with little warning, little consultation, and little consideration for vulnerable economies like ours. And these developments are not just political whims. They are structural shifts rooted in discontent with trade deficits, perceived imbalances in the WTO system, and the global competition for dominance in emerging sectors and technologies. Now, we just recently returned from a meeting with the US Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, and one of our Prime Minister Kerry, was very clear in his presentation to the Secretary of State that we have no say in what the US policy is. The President is effecting a mandate for which he was elected. So it is for every country to determine what is in their best interest and to take matters in their hands. Our challenge is not what the US is doing. Our challenge is what are we doing to place ourselves in a better and different space. So the multilateral trading system, which was already lagging behind digital transformation and 21st century commerce, is now at the risk of irrelevance. The principles of most favored nation status and special and differential treatment, which was once the bedrock of fairness for developing countries, is under siege. Colleagues, this moment demands more than analysis. It demands strategic clarity. It demands political courage. And above all, it demands action, not in silos, not in speeches, but in coordinated regional response and resolve.
Newly appointed chair of the OECS Trade Council, Minister Joseph Andel, opens with a call for recommitment to the 2010 revised Treaty of Bastia. He notes the OECS remains structurally vulnerable, citing natural disasters, the COVID-19 pandemic, and global conflicts as major economic setbacks. Andel urges ministers to accelerate efforts to harmonize trade policies, implement the single economic space, and create systems that can shield member states from external shocks while enhancing competitiveness.
Natural disasters in the atmosphere above and emanating from deep beneath have interrupted our economic progress over the past 15 years. A global pandemic basically stopped the world in its tracks in 2020 and 2021. And various conflicts seemingly far away continue to exert their impact on global supply chains and markets through shortages and increased prices that are transmitted to our supermarket shelves and gas pumps. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my intent is not to be alarmist or pessimistic, but just to call it as it is. I wish to suggest that we need to urgently review and take stock of our work in progress towards the realization of the purposes and functions of the OECS in the area of trade policy, and particularly the operationalization of the economic union as a single economic and financial space.
What has been considered a needed addition at the Turn-to-be-LETTSOME International Airport in the British Virgin Islands has been finally completed. Word on this from the Communications and Works Minister, Kai Reimer. Now, during the government's Virgin Islands Voice program Wednesday evening, Minister Reimer announced that they have commissioned the luggage belt at the airport with a total upgrade.
I had the opportunity to see it in operation. This was upgraded from, I think the airport came, I think the last one was done in 2003. So we are pleased with that upgrade as we are seeing a number of new persons coming to our shores. We are seeing record number coming through the airport. And, I just want to acknowledge that. And they also did some upgrade to the sewage system there. I think those were necessary upgrades as, you try to accommodate the number of persons coming to the territory and make sure that you have the proper facilities and the proper infrastructure to be able to accommodate the influx of people coming to our shores. So, I just want to acknowledge the airport's authority, and there's still quite a lot to be done at the airport, at the terminal. I know they'll be in a couple of weeks. We're hoping that the arrival hall will be expanded, it'll be extended, and we'll be able to accommodate more persons based on from where it is right now. And again, I'll be happy when that is done, so we'll be able to have a more seamless and efficient process coming through the airport. So works are happening. I know we are scheduled also to upgrade or expand the apron. And this is a vital component to be able to hold a number of planes and a number of jets that will be coming to the Virgin Islands.
The minister stated that during high season, jets would drop their passengers off and seek to find space elsewhere. However, Minister Reimer noted that with these upgrades, this would become a thing of the past.
So the expansion, soon we'll be hearing basically putting out the RFP to be able to get those works done at the airport, as well as we move further into the runway extension. And, it was announced that we have received the business case. We are going through it, and we are going through the process where we'll get it to cabinet to approve on the way forward for the airport expansion. So holistically, we have quite a lot happening at the airport. And I just wanted to start there because, sometimes we focus a lot on the challenges and what is not going right, but we just need to acknowledge the, increased airlift, what we have done at the airport in the last couple of years, and not to just mention the American Airlines flight, but to mention the other airlines that are now coming to the Terence B. LETTSOME International Airport. And we must acknowledge that we see the demand for coming through the Miami flight, where we are seeing, excess. We've had up to 6 flights one time, and we are seeing that demand continue. And it goes to show that persons want to come to our shores, and we must make sure that, we have the proper airlift and the facilities to be able to accommodate them.
Minister of Communications and Works, Kai Reimer. Chairman of the Anegada Lands Advisory Committee, Darrell Ruan Jr., has penned a report where it calls for action and justice for Anegadians' lands. Ruan Jr. published his final report, Public Edition 2020-2024, stating despite decades of bureaucratic delays, political interference, and political inconsistencies, the people of Anegada have maintained their connection to their ancestral lands and their vision for a self-determined future. He said throughout this period they have witnessed firsthand the resilience and determination of Anegadians in their pursuit of justice. Ruan emphasized that over the years, the committee has worked diligently to address the complex land issues facing Anegadians, processing 277 applications, establishing standardized criteria, as well as conducting community education and advocating for systematic reform. Also, he said they have documented both progress and persistence with obstacles, creating a comprehensive record of Anegadians' land management, the challenges, and the human impact of these issues. According to the chairman, today they stand at a crossroad. One path leads to continued fragmentation of policy, inconsistent application of rules, and the gradual erosion of Anegadians' connection to their land. Ruan Jr. stated that the alternative path, the one they strongly advocate for, leads towards healing, reconciliation, and empowerment. Additionally, he says this path requires courage from government officials, commitment from administrative bodies, and continued engagement from the Anegada community. The chairman stated that the committee is calling on government officials to demonstrate their commitment to justice by implementing the recommendations in this report, particularly the creation of a body corporate for Anegada lands and the expedited processing of existing applications. Now, the report is also calling on the broader BVI to support Anegadians in their pursuit of justice, recognizing that their principles are at stake. Fairness, transparency, and respect for rights benefit all citizens. Ruan said further that the land issues facing Anegada are not merely administrative problems. They are matters of justice, dignity, and human rights. Up next, BVI Rotary Clubs look ahead and education officials advocate for play through learning. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Orange alert! Orange alert! Fire is spreading across the BVI. The fastest, most reliable, and affordable fiber internet service is here for you. Look out for fire in these new locations: Slaney, Duff Bottom, Manual Reef, Seacoast Bay, Albion, Hannah's, Palestina, Pleasant Valley, and Havers. Fiber is in your area. Call 444-4444 or visit a CCT store to find out more and bring it home. More locations coming soon.
Just give me my service. Yeah. Just give me my service.
Just give me my service.
Make the switch to CCT and get connected today. Unlimited talk, text, and data. Visit any CCT store or call us at 444-4444. CCT, Life Unlimited.
Life is unpredictable, and when a storm is coming, having a plan can make all the difference.
We need a plan in case of a hurricane. Everyone, let's work together on this.
This is where we go in case if we need to evacuate. This is safe away from flood zones.
I will use this room as our secure space if we have to stay home.
Don't forget to save our local contacts and also our off-island contacts.
Right, and we need to have a plan for our pets too. They can't go to shelters, so we need a safe place for them.
In case we get separated, we should have a meeting spot. How about the community center?
That's good, and we can leave a note there too.
I feel safe knowing we have a plan.
With a plan, you're not just preparing for the worst, you're taking control of the situation. A message from the Department of Disaster Management and 284 Media.
Welcome back, everyone, and thank you all so much for sticking with us. It is important that non-academic skills are developed in early childhood and not allowing a child to sit at a desk all day with pen and paper. That's the view of education officials during a panel discussion Tuesday as part of Early Childhood Awareness Week activities. Now, the panelists shared that early childhood learning lays the foundation for a child's future. Chief Education Officer Orlando Crabb said they want their early childhood centers to be empowered to focus on non-academic skills which come about in a child's natural environment through play. Crabb believes that in preparation for formal schooling, early childhood centers are pressured into presenting learning in a certain way.
And that is, as other persons have mentioned, pencil, paper, sitting at a desk, which is totally developmentally inappropriate for a child between 0 and 5, to be sitting at a desk all day or for more than 5 minutes, 10 minutes at a time. But the pressure comes from parents because they want, they want to know that their child is learning. They want to know, a lot of it is, they feel that will be ready, aligned with readiness. They want to make sure their child is ready for formal school. And I want to say this as explicitly as possible. When your child gets into formal schooling, public or private, wherever you choose, they're going to start from 0. So all the papers with the A's traced and colored in don't mean nothing. Because in formal schooling, we start from the very beginning. But let me tell you what we want. We want a child who can listen and follow instructions, who can relate to their peers without throwing a tantrum and falling down on the floor because they have to share a pencil, a crayon, or something. We want a child who can go to the bathroom and zip down their pants, do their business, and come, wash their hands and come back without needing assistance because they have not developed the fine motor skills they need to do much of all the caretaking, self-care that is needed. Those are the skills that are important to us in education. We want a child who can express themselves articulately for their age and tell the teacher, I don't feel well. So and so hit me. I stubbed my toe on the shelf. And not just sit in a corner and cry without having the skills to articulate. More and more, Paul, we are finding children coming into formal schooling without those skills. But they could call her A. But that don't matter to us because we're going to teach that A again.
Education Officer for Early Childhood Development, Kimberly George, stated that they are advocating for learning through play.
We as the educators, we know what is in the best interest of our children. And parents, you have to trust us that we know that the skills that we are trying to develop, we are doing that through the students' learning experiences where they play with their peers. They're able to communicate and socialize. And like Ms. Krabs said, those skills that they need to move on to the next level are cemented in them at the early childhood level. So learning through play is very crucial at that stage of their development. And you have to trust that we know and we are doing what is in the best interest of your children.
With 4 Rotary clubs in the territory of the Virgin Islands, the question is being asked whether it's time to merge clubs. There is a Rotary Club of Tortola, Rotary Club of Rotown, Rotary Club Sunrise of Rotown, and the Rotary Club of Central Tortola. This was one of the discussions during the Talking Points program earlier this week. One of the guests, Assistant District Governor for District 7020, Mrs. Rosemary Flax, said it is felt that most times all 4 clubs are tapping into the very same resources for sponsorship.
Up to, was it Friday night, one prominent businessman was asking me about Rotary, and he said, I have so many Rotary clubs, different Rotary clubs, coming one after the other, asking to sponsor one thing or another. You know, so
I hope that wasn't one that I went to. All that I went to, I accepted mine right away. So,
I mean, if you pay attention, also in this month of June, you will also see every club have their installation.
Right.
Yes. And those installation tickets more likely over $100.
Yes, we've had for 150,
yeah,
we know. 120.
We know. So these are things we have to look at. And if I may, because Rotary is not all the glory as it's made out to be at all times. There was a cost for Rotary.
Yes.
And I'm usually called upon to give the financial obligations of Rotary, and I gladly do it, because when you come into an organization, you should understand your responsibilities, and to be a member of a club, and not to be a Rotarian, to be a member of a club is costly, because you meet. We used to meet every week. Most clubs now meet twice a month. But you have to either pay for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. You have to pay for the beverages. You have to pay your annual dues. You have to pay different things.
That was District Governor nominee Elvis Harrigan. And Flax also opined that membership and meeting attendance have been dwindling for some time, and that could be one of the reasons.
Because persons realize, no, I really can't afford it.
Right. Wow.
But because of pride, they're not telling us.
Of course.
They're just staying away.
I think one of the reasons why not the membership, but the attendance of Rotarians to meetings now has kind of fallen off. I don't think we have ever recovered from Hurricane Irma. I think what happened is that a number of persons who were here left the territory. And they're not here anymore, and we're just trying to rebuild, which we always need to do. But everything is a cycle, and I've seen not the membership, but the attendance of meetings have fallen off at every club. None can say the other.
Yes, it's across the district.
Up next, the 284 Excellence Film Festival to bridge Caribbean cinema and literature.
My name's Henry Bosch. I work for PPG. I'm here to explain to you the use of the Deltron NXT paint line and Enviro-based high performance, one being solvent-borne and the next being waterborne. The difference is that one is totally manufactured with rosins and thinners and all the good stuff that solvents bring, versus our new technology, which is waterborne, which is 100% latex. What we're gonna do is that we reduce the solvent-borne with a DT885, which is a mid-temp reducer, and the waterborne uses T494, which is a waterborne reducer. We will today be using either DCU 2042, which is a speed clear, or we will be using DCU 2021, which is a classic. We have here our equipment. We have 8-ounce measuring cups, and we also have our 32-ounce mixing cup. We will also have with us our Venturi. This is a blower for us to dry the waterborne paint, which speeds up the process. The good thing about waterborne paint is that as soon as it evaporates, you're good to go. So now Gilligan will dilute the waterborne paint with the waterborne reducer. We made 8 ounces, that would be 1.6 ounce. It always has to be properly mixed until we get an even mixture within the paint mixing cup. So when we spray, we don't see uneven coats of color. So right now we're filling our paint gun with 8 ounces of diluted paint. We're gonna see how far 8 ounces will take us. Waterborne paint seems to look blotchy on your first coat. Don't pay no mind to that. Don't try to achieve full coverage on your first spray. Excellent. Let it dry. So the process in waterborne is 2 even coats, and then we have what we call a dust coat. Well, now we're gonna have Mr. Brown apply the first coat of clear on his waterborne panel. We'll let it flash off, and then he'll come back and coat it with his second coat to finish it off. As you had seen in the previous shots, we had a little blotchiness, and you'll see some patches. That's all due on purpose to sandpaper to prove that with Enviro-based high performance, all technicians, the body work has to end at 800 grit or plus. Well, Enviro-based is like we're trying to shift everyone into that slowly but surely. The entire west coast of the United States and all of Canada has already been on waterborne for the past 10 years. And now soon it'll be the eastern seaboard, which covers the Caribbean. So when that happens, we'll all be affected. So it's best to start now, start trying and applying waterborne, because eventually everyone will be on it. And referring to technicians, it's less harmful because it doesn't have all the toxic chemicals that solvent-borne paints do.
Welcome back, everyone, and thank you all so much for sticking with us. A new film festival launching this autumn aims to connect Caribbean literature with global cinema, offering a platform for storytelling that honors the region's literary legacy while fostering fresh creative expression. The inaugural 284 Excellence Film Festival, also known as 284XFFF, will take place in the Virgin Islands from October 30th to the 2nd of November under the theme Caribbean Literature in Motion, Caribbean Stories Reimagined. The event is being spearheaded by the BVI Tourist Board and Film Commission with support from established institutions including the Bronze Lens Film Festival, Miami Film Festival, and others. We're not just telling stories, we're documenting history, said Film Commissioner Ms. Natalie Hodge, adding, "This festival is our invitation," she said, "to the world to experience the beauty, resilience, and creativity of the Caribbean through cinematic lens." National, regional, and international competitions. The festival includes a multi-tiered competition structure catering to local, regional, as well as international filmmakers. The national competition, The Local Lens, short films by adult filmmakers based in these Virgin Islands. Say Less, the smartphone, shot student films between 5 and 7 minutes. Viral Video Challenge, youth content creators producing films of 90 seconds or less. Regional competition, Caribbean Chronicles, one story, many visions, multiple films interpretations of a single Caribbean literary work. Your author, your story, adaptations of published Caribbean literature of the filmmaker's choice. And the international competition, Legends of the Lens, award-winning global films competing in 2 categories, short as well as features. Your author, your story, adaptations of the Caribbean literature works into films of 40 minutes or less by the diaspora filmmakers. More than a contest. In addition to the competition, the festival will feature screenings, networking events, and panel discussions inviting participation from student directors to seasoned filmmakers worldwide. Out of competition, screenings will also be held, showcasing curated works from global creatives. Organizers hope the festival will establish the Virgin Islands as a cultural hub for literary and cinematic innovation while strengthening Caribbean storytelling through traditions and modern media. For full festival details and entry guidelines, visit 284excellencefilmfestival.com. And that is it for today's news roundup. Be sure to follow us for your daily news updates at 284media.com, as well as to like us on Facebook at 284media and 284BVI on Instagram and X, formerly Twitter. I'm Ron Grant, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Have a safe and enjoyable evening. Happy Thursday. Goodbye.